All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Right. So now that I'm back in my apartment, I feel a little bit better. I got an air purifier here, and I think what it was is in that there's a bunch of allergens in that church. It's all carpeted and everything. So, all right, it is what it is, But it can be a bit much. I was feeling real sick by the end. I mean, I think I was a little dehydrated, but I think it goes hand in hand with allergies. Now I'm going to try to plug this in and see if I can get the other microphone working. All right, all right, all right, all right. Sure what's going on there. That's weird. It's like I can't get this thing to move. All right, there it goes again. Yeah, I'm going to have to change out this sound amplifier, but there's a lot of clickies going on. Focus your mind to see if you see, you know what the sound a weapon makes, right? When chambers are around or something like that. Keep your ears out for that. All right, let me see if this thing works. Trying to get it on the other microphone. Test, 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 test. There it goes. Let me try to see what microphone's working here. It's not working on there. No. Test, 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 test. All right, I think it's just going to work on the regular microphone. It's just having a glitch. Could be. I think it's just this app. I think I used a sound recorder and it worked. Oh, I feel so much better. Wow. Not feeling pretty sick up there. I don't know. It could be some. Again, it's up towards. It's Lenexa, but it's up towards. What is that area called? Shawnee. So it's funny because the church is actually a couple. I guess about a half mile from some apartments I was looking at. I believe I was blocked from those. That's your business to find out who's who. It's not mine. Right. No, it's too many years since Indiana. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Right. I thought I was massaging everything enough. I'm thinking I can't wear my aftermarket inserts in my shoes. I got to wear these custom orthotics. That may be part of what was causing some issue earlier this week. Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to. I should have changed my hearing aids to see if the other one worked any better. The real expensive models, they'll actually think through it, so you don't have to go to your app and start adjusting stuff. I don't know how well they work, but theoretically they do. Trying to find my metrics bar. I just had it. So, yeah, it seemed like a lot of nice people in church there. I'm not a prude, and people will do what they'll do until they won't. But it's funny because the president, I think it was the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, actually put something out. I don't know, I found it somehow this morning. Now, that particular church does not have a serious problem of people dressing scantily, but I think LDS to a certain degree, they just have this kind of, I don't know, flower girl kind of look they go for. And he said, don't be the porn. Don't dress like the porn. Don't be the porn that some guys are looking for. Well, my two missionaries now, and then there was another missionary. They dress. I can't tell you how they dress on every occasion, but generally they're covered up. Right. Well, it's not. It wasn't. It was kind of divinely coming in on how all that works. Well, the idea. I was speaking on it the other day. Right. There. Well, they're looking for that attention, or, or, or maybe a couple. And also, I spoke about kids before. I had to give her some voicemail. My wife and I didn't, put tons of makeup on our kids and dress them scantily. I did show up a couple times. So, again, people live as they live. Thanks. So earlier I was looking through some of the attire, like men's attire, but then the woman's attire came up also. Well, it's just like it's lack of awareness. But sometimes what happens is the adults will be more conscious. But when it comes to their teenage daughter, they're not seeing it. Well, she's only a girl. Like a mini skirt. I guess we used to call it. Right. Thank you. Like I said, my two missionaries are rather chaste. That's the term. Right. And there was another one. I never met her. She went to some other area nearby with another person to do their thing. Right. Usually, the Bible studies generally, so I kind of miss her. Right. Right. That's what it is. Tis the life in the LDS church, right? Apparently, there were some LDS cops that were trying to get me in the church for years. It just didn't work. Should just sent the missionaries, man. Actually, no, I'm a spirit that lives places, right? So I probably have quite a history with the LDS church, but my body doesn't have all of that. Look, actually, well, of course, my physical body wishes I could have found them in like 2005 and it would have worked. Right. Thank you, Larry. No, they're real. I mean, I could see there's something going on there, but it's not going to be the same as the other places. Right. Thanks, Larry. I wish I was feeling better. I could have healed people better. Just I did the best I could. No, I know the healing work that God puts through me, it changes people's lives. It's a gift of God, not of myself, lest I boast. Actually, I think these hearing aids would have been better. I had a wacky pair of hearing aids on. So mostly I had it on Bluetooth, so when the hearing aid part wasn't working. Right. These aren't perfect. I think I still got to take the high frequencies up a little bit higher. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. Oh, I knew I received that message for a reason. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not telling you I am. I'm not judging those people. I think that should, yeah, I think they should just kind of find a way to work that into the older teen thing, and have the parents view it. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. President Nelson thanks me. Inside. I guess Nelson, yes. Thank you, Larry. Well, again, I'm not going to play that game. They go, oh, what are you saying? They're getting raped because they dress that way. I said, no. But everybody, like I said, Everybody knows years ago it was okay for cops to say, okay, dress down. Right. So people in the community, when something was going on, as rapes or something in the 70s and 80s, they would say, dress down, don't attract. Right. And a lot of women knew that that's what they would do. Thank you, Larry. Ugh. When she said I could walk around, I'm like, well, that's going to work. Right. And a bunch of them came up, and a bunch of like leaders and a bishop. The bishop looked a little off. I don't know what's going on with the bishop. He looked a little worried. I said, hey, to the bishop. The bishop said, hey. I said, started talking to him. And, oh, he looked worried about something. Wish he would have shared. I yelled at the bishop. No, your daughters in an LDS church should not be wearing kind of the equivalent of a miniskirt. Right. Like I said, there was maybe just a couple adults that maybe encroached upon that attire. Again, they're low key. They're not going to, I'm out there to rule you for nothing. Okay. But I understand. Again, people are going to do what they're going to do so they don't. Oh, you got real. Not how many old days churches you've been in, but we're kind of low key here. And I said, well, down 30 people. He said, yeah, kind of like that. Thank you. Well, they're concerned, but more concerned with the worship time. Yeah, it's not for the bishop to walk up and point out a woman's skirt or a young lady's skirt. I mean, enough people in that church where, friends can say something. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary. The bishop didn't say it. The other guy said it. I don't know what he was. Right Reverend or whatever they call him. The guy that does the, he's kind of like runs the service. The bishop is kind of just an overseer kind of guy. The bishop actually look like a judge, though. Look at Judge Grimm. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, you probably should have just got me in an LDS church. It had been over years ago. Right. They're real. Well, like I said, the religion part of it, the doctrine on it, is man's interaction with God. God's there, but so there's a little something. Something that's really more important is how that all works. I know I'm going back. I think because God told me to bless the. Like I said, well, should I give money? He said, nah, don't worry. You don't have money. You're sick. You got bills. But God said, bless the tithing apparatus. They have they just have like envelopes on the side, and and forms to fill out. God said I'm going to pay it electronically. I'm going to give it electronically. That's what he just said. Thank you, sir. So I can credit them with being real. So again, it's more important that a church is real than they have the absolute correct doctrine, which they articulate that they do. But in God's eyes, it's important for you to reach out. It's important for you to accept, for you to bring people in. Again, I know they don't accept LGBTQ in the church all that much. Again, they accept them in to be there, but they're not. I don't think they're blessing same-sex marriage or the other thing, transgender. Right. But the funny part is, transgender is a disability, and that's really where the that. So uh, again, I'm not telling you to go past a certain point, right? But that's where you need to put it. So what does that do? Again, it's worth a study. Is what you're what because I read your policy on disabled people. Yeah, I've been to your church one day, right? I was quoting policy. You know, it's a setup from God, right? I'm an angel, okay? And they're killing me. They hate me like Jesus. Now, the LDS can understand this one. You know, Jesus in a certain life is an angel, right? His Emmanuel name is an angel name. Angel syntax. Again, you can understand that because you can be whatever you are at the given moment. Right. No, everything looked in proper order, and from what I can tell, right. I kind of blessed the nursery to figure out how to get that stench out of there. It's like, yeah, how can we work this one? Right. Thank you, Larry. Not sure. Maybe somebody will gift you some sort of fumigation system. There was only one guy in there, and again, he may be just having a bad day. But I saw him a few times, and I tried to say hi to him, and it could present the idea that he's judging. But again, I just think he's having a bad day or something. Right. Well, again, what people perceive. I mean, I was reading what people could perceive. So I don't know if going for the massage yesterday was a great idea when I had church the next day, but I really, I went because of the missionaries. I wish the other missionaries were there also. I wasn't that well, but I said, use some hard-working missionaries. They're restricted from their social media. It's like boot camp, basic training. Right. That a lot of the women, like the young women that are missionaries, and you see them everywhere on like Facebook and stuff. Now, again, they might be just presenting that to me to play a game. Right. I'm not saying the church, but cops or somebody. Right. But that was concerning for me. But that kept coming up. Hmm. The way I guess I think there was one like that. There was a mother and her daughter. I think the daughter may have been the missionary. I can't remember what the topic was. Thanks, sir. Well, again, the idea would be to present some adults and maybe introduce the missionaries. That kind of thing. Again, I guess family, they're away from their family, so right, it would have to be somebody that's, the mission president or whatever. Right. I was glad I had two chaste missionaries. Actually, four at this point. But I never knew who I was talking on the phone to. I'm not that good with names. But the two, I don't know if I should use their names, last name. Well, the weird part is two missionaries were somewhere in that mix. They visited. Their name was Campbell and Stewart. I was like, isn't that funny? Why? Why? Yeah. Why Wallace? And I said, look, we can't hang out in the breezeway. You can't tell me about Jesus Christ here because my neighbors will complain. Let's go to your vehicle. She said our vehicle is somewhere else. I said, okay. Well, we can't stand the breezeway. I would invite him in, but I have my air bed in the middle of the living room. I want to deflate that soon and send it back. I might cancel the return and initiate it again and have them just pick it up or something. Right. Hmm. It's too uncomfortable. It was okay for like a week, and then I'm like, ugh. I tried deflating it and everything. You're so there. Getting kind of funky out here now. It actually just got warmer, a little more humid. It felt like. Wish it would rain. Nah, my hearing went down real quick, man. Real quick. My hearing wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't like real bad. Mm. Well, the last place I wanted to be was Kansas, but again, you can't get anywhere when devils are stalking you. So I guess Trump's going to meet with the president of El Salvador and save the day and have that guy released. Well, he's 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 still going forward with the idea that he was a terrorist, which makes a mess because there's people that don't want like Americans being labeled as terrorists because that's the next step. Right? How you doing? All right. Thank you, Larry. He just, I don't think Trump's figuring it out. Thank you, sir. Well, I'm thinking of getting the one airbed that's a twin, but it converts into a sofa or something. Right. And that'll be easier to store if somebody were to come over. Right. Like I said, I wish I could have found the church earlier, but hopefully my health comes back, except for whatever is residual, and hopefully it's minimal. Right. Uh, uh, yeah, I'm kind of starting to feel sick again out there. I'm getting inside. Could be, the humidity a little warmer, and now it's going poof, 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 poof. The pollen. Again, it's not. I mean, I've been disabled the whole time, and they kept causing additional disability. So again, it's not, this idea that this is the big one or anything like that. They were all the big one. You let them do things they never should have been allowed to do. It's just it's atrocious. All they had to do was let my life move forward, and it would have. Yeah, I did my best to blend into the Latter-day Saints church today. I think I did an okay job. I lost the window there for a second. So in their meeting houses, they can house several churches worth of people. They just, there's the group that comes first, the group that comes second, that kind of thing, group that goes third. So there's a church, I think, that meets like at 11. And then there's some meetings, study meetings. Now there's no way for me to get back to a church or I would have been there. Right. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to remain here in Kansas if I stay sick from the pollen. Trying to chill out a little bit here. No, I love being there. I love the church, but Again, I couldn't get those hearing aids to operate right. I think these would have been a better choice. I, I got the blip to change it, but I couldn't get to it. No, I just need them away from me. I mean, hopefully you all will remove whoever has been doing this to me. How it really happened. Otherwise, I'd have been in a church and everything else. I just tried to log into Facebook. It won't let me. I think I have my other account kind of closed down. Let's try to open a new account, but you need so many followers and whatnot. So I really appreciated that they had the Zoom there. I was able to find a Zoom link just from the general. There was like a QC, I think they call it, and I scanned it, and I found one of their Zoom meetings. I think it wasn't the group that I was with, but it was talking about, it may have been missionaries. And then I found my missionaries, and they gave me the link. That's what I was actually looking for, too. So I could participate from home if I needed to. And again, of course, I would watch everybody's stuff if I could. Well, stay peaceful, praise God, and all that you do. I'm going to go see if they have a schedule of some things maybe I'll be able to look at.